G'day everyone and welcome back to Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under for a special Today issue. I don't know where everyone might be in the world. It might be daytime, it might be nighttime. I hope everyone's doing well and thank you for joining me today. As you've all noticed, I've done a report with Benjamin Fulford just recently. Last week, I think I put that up on Rumble, unfortunately due to the fact that, or fortunately, in one way, but unfortunately I couldn't put it up on YouTube just due to the sensitive nature of its information. Unfortunately, it would flag me and I would probably lose my channel over putting it up. So just don't want to take any chances, but I'm going to probably put this one up on, this is probably going to be available on Rumble as well for all of you to enjoy as well. I'll be putting this post up on YouTube for you to all see. So today, as you can see, we're doing another report for BenjaminFulford.com, and this is about Project Bluebeam. False flag is imminent, and the White Hat's countermeasures in place. Now, I believe we are very much, excuse me, on the cusp, the very precipice of change. We are living in revelations, whether you like to believe it or not. We are on the very end of their days, not our days. All reverse inversion, all reverse projection, and all for the reason of keeping us in fear so that when the time came, we would submit and give away our rights for them to rule us under their so-called New World Order. And that's something I'll never do. I'm like Riddick. I bow before no man. I bow before no one. And you have to take my head before you take my heart, my soul. No way. But as I said, this is about Project Bluebeam today, and we're going to be reading about the report that was just put out by MedeaGreere. Again, the lovely Medea has delivered for us another report for Benjamin on his website, on the American Media Group, and working closely with Benjamin, and revealing the truth about what's going on behind the scenes in relation to all these different topics that are going on overseas and around us here, even in Australia. So let's have a look-see at what's going on with Project Bluebeam and the latest report, shall we? So let's check it out. I'm going to bring this to the stage now for everyone to check out, and let's read it together. So boom, Sky event. This was done on Sunday, July 7th, so it's only a day ago. Red sky, blue sky, light sky, Project Bluebeam and Sound Sky event, the White Hats, counter operation and game theory and military strategy. Now, this is only a short report to give us a bit of insight as to what's happening right now. Okay, so boom, uncover the shocking truth behind Project Bluebeam and the impending Sky event, and explore the sinister plans of the deep state and counter strategies of the White Hats. Prepare for global awakening as advanced technologies and truths are revealed. Dive into the battle for humanity's future and discover the real story behind the skies. Excuse me. Sky event. Unveiling Project Bluebeam and the Sound Sky event. Okay, the sky, once a symbol of tranquility and endless possibilities, it is now the battleground for one of the most insidious plots in modern history, Project Bluebeam. As rumours of an imminent Sky event grow louder, it is imperative to examine the sinister plans of the deep state and the countermeasures of the White Hats. This article uncovers the layers of deception, the advanced technologies at play, and the impending global impact of this unprecedented event. Picture this: the sky fills with alien spacecraft, monstrous hybrids roam the streets, and the world plunges into chaos. Hell on earth, eventually. Basically, that's what they were planning. Unfortunately, it won't be happening for them. Well, fortunately for us, unfortunately for them. This isn't a scene from a dystopian novel. It's the reality that we may soon face. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that we'll face that reality, because I do believe there are things in place that'll stop that. Project Bluebeam, orchestrated by the deep state, aims to manipulate and control humanity through fear. But a covert alliance of military forces known as the White Hats is poised to counteract this malevolent scheme, who will emerge victorious in this high-stakes game of deception and revelation. Well, it's very interesting that they say the word revelation there, because that's what I just previously mentioned. We are living in revelations, okay? We're at the end of days, their days, not ours. Now, I do believe that there are very good men and women, patriots, that are among the Air Force, Navy, and Army and counterintelligence agencies that do not want this sort of thing to roll out upon humanity or our planet, and they actually want to stop it and have the best interests of humanity, their brothers and sisters at heart, and their planet, and not submit to such a tyrannical regime. But we also know through Dr. Salah's latest webinar that he did last month, talking about the deep underground military bases with hybrids. I think it was a couple of months ago, 2 months ago, one of his webinars talking about deep underground military bases and these hybrids and clones that they have created down there, that I do believe have been actually put to stop by the white hats and military groups that have been down there, soldiers and spec ops groups that have been trained to deal with such things. So I don't believe these sorts of things will be let out upon the earth. I mean, remember, I did touch base upon in a couple of videos ago in relation to the so-called beasts that have heads like locusts and tails that sting like scorpions released upon the planet. And I said that it was quite possibly very similar to what is shown as the xenomorph from Alien. Imagine that being released upon the planet. We did see a scene in Alien vs. Predator where they were at Mesoamerica, Teotihuacan in Mexico, where they would, a flood of them trying to rise up against the Pyramid of the Sun and 3 predators on top. So imagine that all over the world if they planned that. Oh my gosh. Not that I'm saying that would have happened, but imagine the hybrids as such that they were releasing. I mean, if they can show that in a movie, imagine the actual reality of it, to do such a thing. Yeah, as it says, plunges us into chaos. But it's not going to happen, everyone. I do believe, as it says here, who's going to be victorious in a high-stakes game? Well, we all know. We win, they lose. So behind the scenes, the deep state's dark operations, the cabal's sinister agenda, the deep state, a clandestine network, we know who they are, is on the verge of launching the Sky event, a meticulously planned false flag operation. Okay, so there you have it, everyone. Right there, they have actually said that they are planning their false flag operation meticulously and very, very shortly on the verge of launching the Sky event. So, what's their objective? To create a worldwide state of panic and implement their totalitarian regime under the guise of an alien invasion. This is their new world order, okay? To get us to submit and piss our pants, basically, to give away our personal human rights for them to rule us, be happy, have nothing, no thank you. This is what they plan on using against us to make us believe this is what's going on in order to control us, to bring about their new world order that they have been planning for 1,000 years at least, because I think personally these guys were so arrogant. Not just the deep state, we're talking about the people that are servants of Enlil. Okay, that they thought they had so much time up their sleeve that they could get away with virtually anything. They just didn't count on Enki turning up in this century. And I believe that's why everything is going on the way it is right now. They intend to project terrifying extraterrestrial images of the skies and deceiving billions and consolidating their grip on global power. See, perfect example right there. It's well written. The arsenal of fear, the weapons at their disposal of the deep state are both advanced in secret underground bases like Fort Huachuca. I'm hoping I got that right for everyone. Huachuca in Arizona and the Nevada test sites. They've developed state-of-the-art holographic projectors, I believe that, 5G sound weapons, and genetically engineered hybrids. Yes, they have. Okay. These technologies are designed to induce mass hysteria, illness, and ultimate submission. The goal is clear: control through unparalleled fear and manipulation. Well, we do know that they've got 5G sound weapons because we sell here in Australia for one. For those of you who don't know, during the so-called mass hysteria years of the so-called, there was 2.1 or 2.2 million people down on Canberra's doorstep, pretty much protesting the crap out of Parliament and ready to pretty much walk. It would have looked like a January 6th in America if they'd gotten their way, personally, because I don't believe that that was really in everyone's best interest what they were planning on doing if they were going to storm Parliament. I'm not saying that they were, but at the same time, they were there peacefully at the same time and doing no harm. And there was no need for the deployment by the Australian Federal Police to deploy LRAD devices on the Australian public who were there protesting peacefully. Yeah, they were loud. Yeah, they were proud. It's patriotism at its best and coming together, unifying as one. That's letting the government know we're the boss. You work for us. Okay? We don't work for you. We're not your economic slaves. That day, the Australian public let them know. But at the same time, it's been 2 years, 3 years nearly since then, and everything's gone back to normal. Where are they now? Where are all those patriots now? 2.2 million of you. Well, yeah, I do say that a lot of them have gotten through whatever ailments they must have suffered due to the LRAD deployment, but they all did suffer such nauseating feelings, sickness, radiation, burns, blindness, throwing up, all sorts of ailments that they were suffering that day, and they dispersed the crowd, 2.2 million people, like that, within minutes. Okay, holographic projectors capable of creating lifelike alien invasions from above, that is, to make basically everyone believe down below what they're seeing above is real. I'm going to give you perfect examples of that in a minute. 5G sound weapons that emit waves that cause sickness and panic over vast distances. Just gave you a perfect example of that through what happened in Canberra. Genetically engineered hybrids, monsters designed to be released as aliens to terrorize cities. Well, I do believe that's been stopped in its tracks, and that is not going to happen at all. Okay, the White Hats, a counter-operation game theory and military strategy. Here we go. Opposing the deep state is a covert alliance known as the White Hats, or Global Military Alliance, Earth Alliance. This group, comprising elements of the U.S. military and intelligence community, including the United States Space Force, USSF, and Starlink, is prepared to counter the Sky event. All right, there you go. Countermeasures. I would like to emphasize right here that for every plan that the deep state have, I want to reassure you right now that the White Hats have at least 5 countermeasures in place for every one plan that the deep state want to make a move with. It's like 5D chess that Spock plays on board the Enterprise against Captain Kirk or whoever he may be playing. Okay, it's a 5-tier system from top to bottom. And 5D is being able to stay 5 steps ahead of your opponent at all times. So what we're seeing here is a direct countermeasure on 5 levels being deployed in order to stop the Sky event that they have planned for. Through sophisticated game theory and counter operations, they aim to turn the tables on the deep state, exposing their plans and igniting a global awakening. Their strategy: mimic the Sky event to reveal the truth behind the technologies and operations. So what's that tell you, everyone? They're going to mimic the Sky event. So let's say, for example, right now, that the deep state do actually deploy and roll out their plan to project these ships' invasion upon the sky and make most of the masses believe that this is going to happen, okay? Or that this is happening right in front of their very eyes. When in fact, at the same time, the good guys, White Hats, Global Military Alliance, Earth Alliance, Space Force, and other groups such as Starlink with Elon Musk are going to be countering that by mimicking it. Now, how would you mimic that? Well, something that I covered, I think, a couple of videos ago in regards to the Black Knight satellite Pepsi ad. Okay, now as much as it may have been a Pepsi ad, there was no product plot. For any of you that didn't go see the video, I highly recommend go back and have a look at it. I might even leave a link for it, okay, in the description. But I showed how this particular Pepsi ad had no product placement whatsoever in the ad. And it was all about the Black Knight satellite being used by the Galactic Federation as a means to get everyone's attention on the planet by using hacking essentially every network, server, phone, tablet, screen in every major capital city, or laptop, PC, whatever you may be using, TV, to get everyone's attention and let everyone know that they are here and that they've been amongst us for many hundreds of thousands of years, and that that they were wanting a signal from humanity in this ad that on the time of their next full moon, that the people of Earth must give them a sign. And what happens is, I've never seen an ad where it depicts and shows humanity at its very best, just for a Pepsi ad with no product placement, but it's all about them guys letting us know that they're here and that they're going to let themselves be revealed completely to humanity, and that we move forward together as one species, one group, one race, one planet. What a magnificent ad it is. But to somewhat degree, I couldn't help but think to myself when I saw this ad about, 8 years ago at least. Yeah, I mentioned 8 years ago in the video. No, nearly 9 years now. That it was curious that this video came out 9 years ago, and as I said, with no product placement, but all about this stuff and how the Black Knight satellite in this particular ad was being used as a means to get every signal on the planet and hack the devices and get everyone's attention. So furthermore, mimicking not only the event by, revealing on everyone's tablet and phone and stuff, but how else would they mimic it? By actually showing their true ships, okay, to counter the ships that are being shown by the deep state. At the same time, hacking people's devices, screens everywhere around the planet, getting everyone's attention, letting everyone know. Who knows? I'm just speculating here, putting a theory together, a possibility. Okay, but this is a real thing here. You've got to understand is that this is war, a psychological war on a massive level. It's done in a way that is so sophisticated and so downright low that everyone that is not informed would submit and bow in a heartbeat. So this is why these groups would employ such a countermeasure as such to get the attention of everyone. I mean, look at it. Everyone uses their phone. Everyone uses their devices. Everyone has always got it on them or in their hand. And if everyone was to be hacked at once on a worldwide level, at once by them guys above, with Space Force and our Earth Alliance, all in conjunction, working with each other, introducing them as such, that would be a very good measure, don't you think? To mimic what was going on, but also reveal the truth at the same time, lifting the veil, so to speak. I believe so. And I do believe this is all part of what they call the catastrophic disclosure event that Dr. Sala and many others have been talking about, because it does really show right here that this is part of what they call catastrophic disclosure. It does display this, is that they are going to have to, that the deep state are planning on making it a catastrophe. Well, use the catastrophe against them at every level in order for the best possible outcome in a positive timeline. So let's see how that turns out. Hey, it's going to be actually quite interesting to see how this plays out in the next few months. But let's move on with it. I have waffled for a couple of minutes. Okay, so key figures and strategic moves. So why did Donald Trump integrate the United States Space Force into military intelligence? And why did he, alongside key figures like Ezra Cohen and Kash Patel, grant Elon Musk unprecedented military contracts? Apart from these actions, these four actions form a part of a broader strategy to safeguard critical operations and ensure the success of White Hat's counter operations. The public fallout between Trump and Musk was a strategic ruse, paving the way for Musk's acquisition of Twitter, now X, and his crucial role in the upcoming revelations. Well, that does say quite a lot right there. Okay, I mean, like, if you're going to do one thing and do another, well, it's called basically the power of misdirection. Any great magician knows that the key to a good show, and that's what we're in right now, is a movie, so to speak, is the power of misdirection. Make your enemy believe one thing when in fact you're doing another. It is the art of war by Sun Tzu. Okay. It is also very similar to what my mother always used to tell me as well. Never let the left hand know what the right hand is doing, Chris. In other words, on one hand, you may be doing one thing, but on the other, it may seem like another. See what I mean? So this is what I do believe is actually being played out right now here between Donald Trump and Elon Musk to make the deep state believe that there has been a public falling out as a means to make them believe that this is all going separate ways. But at the same time, the White Hats are using it as a means to counter-operate, okay, behind the deep state's back to pave the way for Musk's acquisition of Twitter and X and military contracts, okay? Because we've just heard from Dr. Saller as well as that SpaceX, which is owned by Musk, okay, like Twitter, X, has been granted permission in the coming years to destroy the International Space Station, making way for these new so-called public platforms, space stations. Dr. Saller covered quite a lot of this in his week in review yesterday. I'll actually leave a link for that for everyone to go back and have a look at that as well. But I do believe this is actually all part and parcel of what's going on within that ruse, and we're going to see how that plays out publicly in the coming months as well. But it's actually very, very, very art of warish, wouldn't you think? The Art of War by Sun Tzu, power of misdirection. It does seem so in this case, doesn't it? Okay, so here we go with Donald Trump placed the United States Space Force within military intelligence to protect operations. Elon Musk has been granted massive military contracts set to play a pivotal role in disclosure. Strategic ruse, public fallout between Trump and Musk was a step up for future cooperation. Absolutely, in every way. So, is that the unanswered questions and speculations? Okay, here we go. Now, these are just things that are going around, floating around. But there are clues to this, okay? So let's have a look at that. The signs are there for those who know where to look. Why does the United States Space Force logo feature an X? Why did Musk rename Twitter to X and adopt a black and white color scheme akin to United States Space Force? These clues point to a carefully coordinated effort to prepare the public for monumental truth. I can see that. If you go back and have a look at those two logos, you'll see that they're all black and white for starters, but they all have an X in them. And it's all part of how these individuals are signaling to each other they're part and parcel of the same operations. Just like the deep state like to use signals, hand gestures, shoes, all sorts of things in their videos to induce fear, and etc., etc. And not to, but also to send messages. Okay, so the impending storm. We stand on the brink of a storm unlike any other. The deep state is ready to deploy the Sky event, so they are very ready and poised to go ahead with this, to distract and deceive, aiming to prevent the exposure of their darkest operations. The stakes have never been higher, with humanity facing a fabricated alien invasion meant to secure the cabal's dominion. However, the White Hat's counter-operations promise to unveil the truth, just like I said, lifting the veil, leading to a mass awakening. Okay, the heart of this conflict is the promise of the real disclosure. For centuries, advanced beings have lived among us, both underground and in the skies. We know about Shambhala, Shangri-La, and Agartha, the Agartha networks inside the earth. and also the other different races of crypto-terrestrials that Dr. Solo has been revealing to us as well. The upcoming events will not only expose the deep state, but also reveal humanity's hidden history and existence of these beings. Okay, so that means they're going to reveal to the masses, essentially, the hidden truth of our actual connections to the stars and our star families and our positive timeline being our Star Trek future coming about. So it's going to be a bittersweet red pill to swallow, eh? It's lucky it's not a suppository, eh? That would hurt. Yeah. This is not a battle for control. It is a revelation of truths that have been concealed for a millennia. Well, as it says right there, a revelation of, I just mentioned at the beginning of this video that this is a revelations. We are living in the middle of them right now. We are approaching the end game. The curtain shall fall. What's at the end of that game? Well, it says that in that very good book that is so well carefully, metaphorically written by those that were in power that retold history in their favor, his story. What's the last act? That the grand armies of the heavens that shall return at the end of days. The grand armies of heaven shall return. Armies being plural, more than one. I've covered this before. Armies being the Global Military Alliance, the Earth Alliance, the United States Space Force, and the Galactic Federation, all working in conjunction as one to beat the deep state and remove the dark elements that have been here, the dark extraterrestrial elements especially, that have been here for a millennia, thousands of years. But this particular act has been going for the 1,000 years. The 1,000 years that Lucifer was let free from his prison to reign free upon the earth. Well, we're winding that show up. We're not about to enter that show. We're winding this show up. We're at the end of that show. And it's not the end of our days. It's a reverse projection. Inversion. It's the end of their days, just like the doomsday clock that I've covered as well. It's a means of keeping the masses in fear of living in a time where nuclear war could happen, when in fact it's actually the deep state's way of keeping a countdown of how long they've got left until this all comes apart around them. Yeah, I do believe they've used that clock for many, many years as a means to count down the days as to when Enki would return. They just didn't count on it happening in their lifetime. And that's exactly what I believe is applicable here, is that their arrogance and their overconfidence was their own undoing. And that's something that I've seen Luke Skywalker call out the dark side for before. So exactly, good example there as well, everyone. I do believe we're at the end of Revelation, and that we're at the end of their days, not ours. And that the grand armies, those 4 particular groups that I mentioned, all 5 groups working all together with the other galactic groups, it's all part and parcel of the grand armies, plural, more than one group coming from the sky. And they've kept every one of us in fear through every part of their Project Mockingbird, CIA-operated, bloody Hollywood-induced, fear-mongering movies and TV shows, that everything we watch and come from the sky, we have to be in fear of. Can you see how they've used it against us? Yeah. So let's have a look at the last bit. Conclusion. So let's prepare for the sky event. For it is more than just a battle for control. It is a revelation of long truths hidden as we approach this monumental event. It is vital to remain vigilant. Remain vigilant. Stay frosty, everyone, at this point in time, and question everything. Question all narratives and seek the truth. Stay in alignment within yourself. Don't get angry. Don't act out on distractions or people having a go at you. Stay within yourself. Stay within your own energy field. Stay within your own alignment. Okay? Because that will actually get you over the line, I believe, because right now you can't afford to have anything outside of yourself coming in, messing up the place inside and keeping you swaying like a pendulum. You need to be still. Let water flow around you. The sky may soon become the stage for the war that will reshape the future of humanity. Well, I don't believe it's going to be a war. I just do believe it's going to be the curtain dropping and the end of, it's just going to happen. I do believe to somewhat degree that one of Brian's last words that were mentioned to Carol Rosen. I think I learned this, many, many years ago, but also just recently heard it through Dr. Suller again. But I heard it on, through James Gilliland many, many years ago. About probably 7 years ago, I heard he mention this, that Werner von Braun mentioned that the last stage, the last war for humanity would be fought in the sky or space. Well, he's not half wrong there, because I do believe the battles have been going on all around us. Space fleets and our back-engineered fleets of anti-gravity aircraft and solar war, going fighting off Dark Fleet, you know, removing the negative factions of extraterrestrials from here and everything like that, such as the Draco and the Sakar Nebu, factions that have been here for many thousands of years. Yeah, I do believe that we are at that battle. That it's been done. We're in the final stage of the curtain about to be lifted and the veil being shown to completely thrown off this whole thing, and the truth shown to humanity. And it is going to be an unfortunate, bittersweet red pill for them to swallow, but it is one that is necessary for us all to move forward together, because I'm getting tired. I'm sure all of you are as well. I mean, this has been one hell of a ride. I mean, I know that most of you have been doing this only for a few years. Some of us for a fair few years. Some of us have been doing it for a lifetime. And I am tired, and I'm done with this negative. I didn't come to Earth for this. Obviously did. We did. Okay, but I didn't want to see my last 20, 30 years that I might have left, go out living in a state of submission and fear, and having to give away my rights to someone who wants to rule me, and end up in a bloody burner somewhere, and just end up being potash for some garden. No, that's not what I came to Earth for. I came here to spread the truth and expose what has been hidden from us, and including this information here for all of you, so that you can inform yourselves and arm your minds, because an informed mind is a powerful mind. Okay, you can't mess with that, because having an informed mind allows you the ability to navigate through the bullshit. It gives you an internal bullshit-o-meter and allows your discernment. Okay, so I can't really stress that enough, everyone. Now, I would like to just quickly share as well for everyone. We're going to share just a couple of quick vids, just brief ones that are on YouTube that I've got lined up for you here. Now, check this out. Sorry, everyone. Here we go. Watch that again in slow motion, everyone. Here's the breach. Look at the realisticness of that. Look at the reaction on the children's faces all the way around the room, including the ones closest to us. Their eyes are following and tracking the object. Look at the girl in front. Her mouth is in awe. That is incredible. get to see that again now in real time. Watch again, everyone, in real time. Look at how realistic this is. So that's pretty crazy. Hey, that is pretty crazy technology. I mean, just look at the belief in those children's faces and the way their eyes are tracking it as it's leaped up out of the water and come across the room. Their eyes are directly following it. So if the children believe it and they see that tech they know it's tech now because it's hologram. Okay. But if they were to see something like that in the sky projected as a ship, how, not just the children, but how many of the adults would believe that's a ship as well? That's what they're counting on. So hence the reason why the white hats have to deploy at least, or have prepared at least 5 different countermeasures to counter that operation on behalf of the deep state. And this is where it comes down to, as I said, the wire people. We're getting to the point where this is where the veil's going to be lifted and the fat lady's about to sing in this opera. Okay, and the glasses are about to shatter. Okay, I can't wait for this. I've been here all my life, like most of you, waiting for this, and I think this is where the penny drops, everyone. So be prepared. Now, just before I finally wrap things up today, I've got a couple of photos I want to show you as well. Now, this one was from China, a province somewhere in China. I can't remember exactly which one, but this was shown over China about 4 years ago. Now, I'm curious to know whether or not, if any of you have seen this as well, and if this particular image is either a real, actual celestial, spiritual event that happened over China, if any of you know or not, or would you be more suspicious if this wasn't a celestial event, to think that this is possibly on behalf of Chinese Black Dragon families preparing for the holographic false flag event of alien invasion over there by projecting someone like Master Buddha to the sky to help people believe that their deities are making a return, when in fact it's actually a part and parcel of their ploy to gain control over the Chinese population. What's your thoughts? Is this an actual holographic image to make it look like a celestial event, or is this the real deal? I'd like your thoughts. I'm swaying towards more so the hologram or holographic event as a test. I mean, just looking at the facial features that are barely visible there, but at the same time, they look like a statue that's depicted perfectly in China. It doesn't look realistic enough. Here's another picture that was also taken over a different part of China. I'm sure every one of you are familiar with this one as well. You have seen it in the past. This came out on a couple of different channels. But what are your thoughts? Is this actually a floating city, or is this a hologram being projected above this province in China, or is this a event where you're seeing 2 timelines overlapping each other and intruding on present time and space? What are your thoughts? Just leave us a couple of thoughts down below, because I want to scratch your minds, see what your thoughts are. Leave your comments there. Yes, very curious, isn't it? It looks realistic enough. And then many people did actually believe at the time that this looked like a floating city over China. But I do believe personally, I'm swaying, as most of you are probably believing, that this is quite possibly a test event over China, another area, another province of their holographic technologies, preparing the masses. What are your thoughts? But yeah, interesting report on behalf of Benjamin Fulford today. I do believe that there is a lot to keep in mind there, and just take a lot of solace and reassurance of knowing full well that this is in the bag. Okay, we win, they lose. It was all prophesied. There's nothing to fear here. Okay, we are moving forward. They lose. They get whatever punishments or just desserts that are coming their way. We evolve, we ascend, and we become a part of a greater galactic community that we could possibly ever imagine. Becoming a part of something greater than ourselves. Essentially bringing about, as Dr. Sala likes to quote so eloquently, and I believe wholeheartedly, our Star Trek type future, our positive timeline. What do you think, everyone? It's something that you can fully feel and resonate, can't you? But in order to do that, we have to get through this little bit of a rough part that we're going to be going through now. It's going to get a little bit bumpy. You're going to have a lot of people throwing a lot of blowback out there. People are going to be going, because my bubble has burst. Their reality has come to a grinding halt. We have to be also empathetic towards these people and realize this is not their fault. They are part of this program that has been rolled out, and they are actually not the problem. They are victims, just as much as we were before we became aware of this stuff. Our job now is to help them become aware, understand, and help them learn when the time is right. So be compassionate and empathetic towards your fellow sister and brother, because this is not their fault. They are going to need help, understanding, and that comes from right here, everyone, our love. Okay, because we've learned all this. We're coming together as we are finding each other online. Elena has confirmed me and said, we're all found each other now in this lifetime. We were there at the beginning at Iridu, and here we are now, finding each other at the end. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're finding each other so that we can help you, the masses, when this all comes out, to understand how this is all played out and understand the actual esoteric information, hidden history, spiritual information, connection to off-world groups, your star family, everything. As I discover, I will share with you as everyone else has been doing this as well. Remember, I'm nobody. I'm just someone who is a great small part that's contributing to the greater whole, and one small cog in a whole network of cogs that are part of a motor that makes this thing work. That's a good way of putting it as well. So anyway, everyone, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to waffle on any longer. I hope you've enjoyed my report today with BenjaminFulford.com. Please go over to the American Media Group. I'll leave the link in the description for you as well to go and get your information. Covers many topics. There's many different tabs there. You can keep up to date with what's going on with Guantanamo Bay, all sorts of stuff. Those that have been executed, those that are still waiting. Check it out. I can't recommend it enough. It's a very good source of trusted, vetted information. But in saying that, everyone, let's wrap it up here for today. I thank you all for joining me. And if you are still first-timers here as well, just joining us for the first time, please hit the subscription button and the notification bell. And just be sure to give us a like and a share as well if you all can. Just due to the fact that YouTube's algorithms are just relentless. It's crazy. It stops us from getting to a wider audience, and we're really a part of growing right now. And that all comes down to you sharing and helping us grow. So please help us expand and grow as a family, and we can do this together and move forward as one. In saying that, take care until next time, everyone. I love you all. Take care.